You wake up. You tell yourself, today will be different. You feel determined, hopeful, ready to change. But somehow, by the end of the day, the same pattern has played out again. You lost your temper. You avoided the hard task. You checked your phone instead of starting that project. So why? Why do you keep repeating the same mistakes even when you know better? It's not because you're broken. It's not because you're lazy or weak. It's because your brain is not designed for change. It's designed for efficiency. Your brain loves habits. Habits save energy. When you repeat a behavior enough times, your brain files it under automatic. It stops asking, is this good for us? And just does it. Like a sleepy assistant who assumes that if you've done it before, it must be important. This is why willpower isn't enough. You can't argue your way out of a habit that lives deep in your nervous system, especially not when you're tired, stressed, or overwhelmed, which, let's be honest, is most days. But here's where it gets more interesting and more frustrating. You're not just repeating actions. You're often repeating stories. Stories like, I'm just not good with money. I always mess things up. People don't really care what I say. These stories act like filters. They color how you see the world, how you see yourself, and, you guessed it, what choices you believe are even possible for you. If deep down you believe you're destined to fail, your brain will unconsciously steer you toward behaviors that make that prophecy come true. Not because you want to fail, but because it's familiar. And familiar feels safe. We like to think we're logical creatures, but most of the time we're just following grooves that were carved long ago, by childhood, by experience, by repetition. And the grooves are deep. So how do you break the cycle? First, by noticing. Noticing the moment when the pattern begins. Not with judgment, but with curiosity. Ah, here it is again. The pull to say yes when I mean no. The urge to escape instead of stay. Then by pausing. Just for a second. Just long enough to ask, is this the only road I can take? Change doesn't happen in a big dramatic moment. It happens in these tiny, quiet pauses. In the choice to do one thing differently. Today. Right now. You'll mess up. You'll fall back into the old path. That's part of it. But every time you pause, you weaken the old groove. And every time you choose differently, even a little, you begin to carve a new one. That's how change really works. Not by trying harder, but by becoming more aware. And maybe, just maybe, the next time the same mistake knocks on your door, you won't answer with habit. You'll answer with choice. So tell me, what's one mistake you keep repeating? And what do you think is behind it? Let me know in the comments. I read every one.